Hey everyone, welcome back to the Scenic Route Traveler. I'm Erin, and my passion is discovering breathtaking landscapes one scenic route at a time, then sharing these authentic experiences with fellow travelers like you. In today's video, I'm excited to take you along with me on my day trip to Hvar Island in Croatia and show you all the best beaches and spots I went to. I was excited to show up with nothing but my backpack, my camera, and no real plan except to find some incredible beaches and see what this island has to offer. So let's see what makes this island so special.
So this morning I woke up in Split, Croatia, where I'm staying for the next few nights. Today the plan is to go get breakfast this morning in Split, then head to the ferry, buy a ferry ticket, and head to Hvar Island. And I'm headed to Hvar Island for the day, where the goal is to find a mode of transportation to take me around the island, hopefully some sort of ATV or moped, and just kind of explore the island. If you're looking to get from Split to Hvar or any of the other islands, you'll just need to head over to the different ferries. There's a few different docks that you can take a ferry to different islands. It's pretty easy. I just bought my ticket on the spot coming to the ferry this morning for a 10 o'clock ferry, and then I bought my ticket to come back in a few hours. So I'm on Hvar Island in Croatia for the day, and I've just rented an ATV bike that I'm taking around the island to check out the different beaches and towns on the island. So I am super stoked to be doing this and riding an ATV around the island. So let's go to some of the best beaches in Hvar Island.
Alright, so we're here at Plaža Milna, my first stop of the day. The water clarity here is incredible. You can see it straight to the bottom even when it gets deeper. This is what I've been expecting from Croatian beaches, that brilliant turquoise color against these smooth pebbles and stones. What I like about this beach, and as you can see, it sits in this more natural bay, so it feels protected and intimate. You've got these Mediterranean pines providing shade, which is perfect because the sun is already getting very strong. The setup here is practical without being too overdone. There are restrooms back by the parking lot, a beach bar for drinks, and I can see some coastal apartments that would be incredible to stay in. The stones here are smooth, which makes walking more comfortable, and the way the pine trees frame the water creates these perfect natural viewpoints. You're looking at this contrast between the deep green of the trees and the turquoise water that's just perfect. It's the kind of setting that makes you understand why people keep coming back to this part of Croatia. I'm definitely getting in the water here. It's too inviting not to, and the temperature is perfect. And being able to see the bottom so clearly makes it feel safe and welcoming. Next up is Plaža Velo Zaraće, and this one has a completely different energy. If you're looking at these limestone cliffs that create this natural amphitheater around the water, the path down is steep but keeps the crowd smaller and gives it a more secluded feel. The rocks here are bigger, more like boulders, which creates these interesting spots to sit and take in the view. There's something about the scale here that makes you want to slow down and really look at what's around you. I actually ended up stopping for lunch here at the restaurant along the water called Cove, and it turned out to be one of those perfect unplanned finds. It had simple pasta, incredible views, and exactly what I needed after exploring. Sometimes the best travel moments are the ones you don't plan for, including this amazing meal.
I just stopped for lunch at a restaurant right by the water called Cove's restaurant. I'll add the link and location of where I stayed. Really good, really nice. And now I'm just gonna head back on my ATV and check out more of the island before I have to return it later in the day and catch my ferry back to Split.
And just a short walk from lunch is Plaža Malo Zaraće. This is a smaller, more intimate version of the previous beach. You can access it by these stone steps that lead you right to the water's edge. This is one of those beaches where you don't necessarily need to spend hours, but it's worth the visit for the perspective. The scale is smaller, more enclosed, and you get this different angle on how these coves connect along the coastline. The water maintains the same crystal clear quality, and there's something very appealing about these smaller spaces. It's perfect for a quick appreciation before moving on to the next spot. Or, if you have a few hours, it is a perfect spot to spend it as well. Now we stopped at Plaža Dubovica, and I can see why this beach has the reputation it does. The setting is more expansive than the previous coves, with these cliffs creating a dramatic backdrop and multiple layers of rocky platforms that work perfectly as a natural seating. This is where the rocky nature of Croatian beaches really makes sense. Instead of sand, you have these smooth limestone surfaces that warm up in the sun and are surprisingly comfortable to lie on. It takes a moment to adjust if you're used to sandy beaches, but there's something solid and grounding about it, though I do recommend bringing water shoes if it will be a problem for you. So I'm just going to settle here for a bit and just take in the surroundings. The acoustics are interesting. You have the obvious sound of waves against the stones, but the way the sound carries in this natural setting is very peaceful. It's exactly what I needed. The real value in taking the moments to just be present, especially somewhere this beautiful. The view from here extends across multiple islands, creating these layers of blue that shifts from turquoise to deep navy, depending on the depth and the distance. This beach feels like it hit that sweet spot between accessible and secluded. Easy enough to reach, but removed enough from the main tourist areas to maintain its character. I honestly could have spent my entire afternoon here.
Now I'm walking around Stari Grad on the island of Hvar in Croatia. It's considered the Venice of the island because it has different canals. And I am still rocking on my ATV through the island, which so far has been super fun and allowed me to stop at a couple different beaches and given me the opportunity to see different towns on the island as well.
I'm back on my ATV to drive across the island for a quick stop in Stari Grad. This town has such a different pace compared to the main port. It's a bit quieter, a little more spread out, and with these beautiful stone houses and winding narrow streets that are perfect for exploring. There's something very appealing about how the town is laid out, with these little squares and corners that invite you to slow down and look around. I'm noticing cafes tucked into stone buildings, small shops, and just this overall atmosphere that feels a bit more relaxed and unhurried.
I very much recommend if you're coming to Hvar Island, especially only for the day like I did, to rent a moped, ATV. They have cars. You can even rent a bike if you want. I think it's one of the best ways to check out to the different beaches, unless you're just going to go to one and then you can get a taxi, or I've seen bus stops. But I think it's one of the best ways that you're going to come to Hvar, especially just for the day from Split or somewhere else.
So I have made it back to Hvar town, where I dropped my ATV off for the day, and I'm making my way through the old quarter through the Španjola fortress. The streets have these very classic Mediterranean feel. They have stone buildings, the red tiled roofs, and enough shops and cafes to keep things very interesting without being overwhelming. The walk up to the fortress, though, is no joke. These cobblestone streets are steep, and the sun is strong. But you could tell the payoff is going to be worth it as you gain elevation and start getting glimpses of the view. The architecture changes as you climb, from the newer buildings near the harbor to the older structures that hint at the fortress's historic significance. This is definitely a workout, but the anticipation is building with every step.
I'm now back in Hvar town. Dropped off my ATV. All went well. Highly recommend it if you're coming to Hvar. But now I'm going up to the viewpoint at the fortress to get a view of all of Hvar before I catch my ferry at 7 o'clock.
And here's the payoff. The view from the Španjola fortress is absolutely worth that climb. From up here, you can see the entire archipelago laid out below you. The main island, the surrounding smaller islands, and all the channels between them, creating this complex network of waterways. The fortress itself dates back to the 16th century and was built by the Venetians as part of their defense against the Ottoman expansion. And what's impressive is how well it's been preserved and how thoughtfully it's integrated into the landscape. Rather than just dominating the hillside, it seems to emerge naturally from the rock. The viewing platforms are strategically positioned to give you different perspectives. You can see the harbor and the town below, but also the wider seascape extending to the horizon. The entrance fee is reasonable, and even if you're not particularly interested in military history, these panoramic views alone make it worthwhile. This is definitely one of those experiences that photos don't fully capture. You need to experience the scale and the sense of being suspended above the landscape. I'm now just back down in the harbor, waiting for my ferry to go back to Split. The port has this constant rhythm of boats arriving and departing, people gathering and dispersing. And as the late afternoon light starts to change, the water becomes more reflective, and you get these brief moments where the sun catches the surface just right to twinkle. One beach worth mentioning that I did not have a chance to get to today was the Palmižana beach on Sveti Island. It's accessible by boat from Hvar and is known for its lagoon-like setting and feeling a bit more tropical. The beach club there has developed quite a reputation, and the water is supposed to be exceptional even by Adriatic standards. Definitely adding it to my list for next time. Split has been an excellent base for exploring the Croatian islands. The city is built around and within the Diocletian's Palace, which is remarkably preserved Roman complex from the 3rd century. And what makes Split, Croatia unique is how this ancient architecture has been integrated into modern life. You'll find restaurants, shops, and apartments occupying spaces that were once part of the emperor's residence. The old town is easy to navigate on foot, with the Riviera waterfront as your main orientation point. The ferry connections are efficient and frequent, making day trips to islands like Hvar, Brock, and Korčula entirely feasible. Split strikes this great balance between historical significance and modern functionality, with enough cultural offerings and nightlife to keep you engaged when you're not island hopping. For anyone planning a similar itinerary, Split gives you the infrastructure and location you need while maintaining its own distinct, amazing character. But to end this amazing day, I was back in Split, reflecting on the day that really exceeded my expectations. Hvar offers this compelling mix of natural beauty, historical depth, and enough variety to satisfy different interests and energy levels. Each beach has its own character, the fortress provides great context and perspective, and the island maintains its appeal without feeling overly commercialized. So if you're planning time in Croatia, Hvar deserves serious consideration. Thanks for joining me on this exploration, and if you found this helpful, consider subscribing for more travel content. Until next time, thanks for watching and happy travels.